And thank you all for joining and to discuss this topic. It's a hot topic, something we're all very interested in right now. 1964, Bob Dylan penned the words, "The times they are a changin'," and so never more true than now, is it? Isn't it? The times they certainly are different today. What we do today in May 2020 is quite different than what we did literally just 2 months ago. Some of these quotes from these people: "It's a huge stressful experiment in working from home." And it is stressful. Not all the, you trying to work around family. I have a 13-year-old son. He's in the 7th grade in middle school, and we have to coordinate my work, his work, both of ours work, and we have to share the space and get everything done. And we still have to get the work done. And despite the different living arrangements that we now have to deal with. And so it is something to deal with, right? Schools are trying to figure this out. Schools are impacted more than anybody else. So that's why I put that picture up there of Dylan. It's just something to think about. There's a lot of good covers on YouTube of Bob Dylan's song. I particularly like the Tracy Chapman version. If you get a chance to go to YouTube and listen to that, she did a great job. So I guess I'll drive up some viewership, hopefully, of Tracy Chapman's cover of that song of Bob Dylan. What is the impact and what's it going to change? Well, clearly, education and enterprise have been impacted immediately in what we do. Of course, all these markets, we're all impacted. Logistics markets are impacted. Retail stores are closed. Of course, they're going to start opening up at the end of this week and next week. And in certain small measurements, they're going to start doing some changes. But clearly, education and enterprise really were not prepared for this type of dramatic change. So the changes that have happened quickly, and it creates opportunity for you as service providers to do something for your businesses, for your employees, and also for your community as well. And we believe that that these changes are going to be with us for a while. It's not going to go away in a month, 2 months, 3 months. It's going to be with us. One of the key things in education markets is that schools are going to be more engaged. A year ago, they didn't care so much, they cared, but they really weren't involved in trying to bring broadband connectivity to the homes of the students that they service in their area. But now they will. The schools will be involved. So if you have schools in your service area, give them a call. Let them know that you can help them out, and they will love to hear that call from you. Because they want to be involved, they have to be involved. I found another statistic last week. The Pew Research Institute said that of U.S. families in North America, U.S. families with income less than $30,000 a year, so that's in the low, very much low income in North America, less than $30,000 of family income, only 56% had internet access. 56%. Had internet access. That leaves a huge gap, equality gap, opportunity gap in our education system, and schools will close that gap, and they need your help to do it. Enterprise markets. Enterprise markets are going to make greater use of video conferencing tools, group collaboration. We've been at Cambium, we've been using video collaboration, been using Microsoft Teams. And we try to use our videos so people can see one another. We can see that the team is still there. It's the same people we work with. There's going to be some changes. You know what? The end of this year, next year, years to come, an increased use of secure cloud technology. That's absolutely on the horizon. I think that VPN use, VPN access will actually decline, not grow. Decline and not grow. Why? Because there's tools available now, and many applications that we use in our enterprise business and working are all web enabled, and they're secure web enabled already. And the ones that aren't web enabled, there are tools out there that can put a front end on them that makes them a secure web access application, and that makes it easier to deploy. VPNs have constraints, they have limitations, they have costs associated with them. So secure web technology secure cloud access is going to be the future for enterprises' remote business. Really, the home is the new enterprise, and work is wherever you are. Your work is wherever you are at this point in time. So enterprise and education highly impacted. Other markets as well. But I just want to draw attention to the last line there. Each one of us have a responsibility here, right? I have a responsibility, you do, Streakwave does. We all have a responsibility to help and support our local entities, support our local people, the communities in which we live, the communities that we serve. So we certainly encouraging everybody to do that, and Cambium also wants to do that as well. All right, so another phrase, the more things change, the more they stay the same. That's an old expression, you've heard that before. And that applies to Cambium Networks. Really, Cambium Networks has been building these types of networks longer than anybody else and doing it for years. We've been building these kinds of broadband networks that can open up an enterprise Wi-Fi hotspot, in a school parking lot, or can extend broadband access to homes in the service area around a school, or in a larger service area serviced by a wireless ISP. And of course, the management utilities, the management tools, CN Maestro, that sees everything. CN Maestro is in the cloud. It's the eye in the sky, and it sees the fixed wireless broadband network. It sees the enterprise Ethernet switches, the residential service provider access points, the enterprise APs. It sees everything and manages everything. It's your eye in the sky is CN Maestro. And Cambium's been doing this. We've been putting this technology out there for years. So the more things change, and they are changing, the more people are coming back to Cambium, and we hope that you will give Cambium a call and give Streakwave a call and say, hey, what can we do together to enable these kinds of technologies? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about CN Heat. That's one of the key technologies Cambium launched last year that really simplifies and makes this process much easier to do. Let's watch a video. This video we're going to watch now is with MaxWire in Illinois. Now, this is a service provider, probably just like you guys, who saw a need in their local community, and they acted upon that need. And I want you to pay attention to some of the stuff that he did. It's only about 3 minutes long, and then we'll discuss it later.
I'm Steve Jones. I'm with MaxWire Wireless Internet Service. We're out of Central Illinois. We're based out of Fairbury, Illinois. Exact. We service roughly 1,000 customers over 5 different counties.
And Steve, how did MaxWire get involved in this remote learning project with the school districts?
When the announcement came down that the school districts would be shutting down for the response to the COVID virus, we knew that the school districts in all likelihood weren't all that prepared for the fast transition to e-learning, so we approached them. And this project, Cambium's been just outstanding. The whole thing, it started out as just me reaching out to the industry, looking for a general solution to get the Wi-Fi connectivity, and then Cambium Networks reached out on a Saturday morning. The next morning, they offered to help with a little bit of equipment and as much of the engineering time as I could use. They opened up the CN Heat team to us. They opened up the CN Pilot team to us. Any resource that we wanted, they gave to us. It was outstanding, and that's not unstandard for Cambium. Just as a customer outside of a project, they've always been great to work with.
So the need to have community Wi-Fi, good education content is not going away. In fact, it's going to get even greater, the need for that.
It was so in the event that there were students that didn't have access to internet or reliable internet, there was one location that was guaranteed to have connectivity. There's Wi-Fi hotspots publicly available, but there's no guarantee of availability of those. And this was something that the school district could, just take comfort knowing that it's present, and they maintain and manage it, so they know that the content coming across the network is content that's approved, and also gives them the ability to monitor the access of the students, who's accessing, what the participation level is.
Wow, those are really good things, because those are really important to all schools, right? They have to maintain control of the content. They have to know what the students are doing when they're connecting. Those are good objectives. Does the Cambium product help you in closing that gap and getting deployments done quicker, getting things done without a site survey? How does CN Heat help you?
Oh, CN Heat really changed everything. The best way I can describe it is if you took every propagation tool that we all use in the WISP industry, that's manual processes, and all the times you said, man, I wish it did this, this does everything you wanted it to do. It's real-time propagation. It's already been propagated in the background, so you can move around your heights and what power levels and your targets that you're looking for without having to run a new model every single time. So the data is there, it's available. It just works.
So Cambium, we're really glad to hear stories about companies and people who are helping their community through this crisis and doing things that are maybe outside the norm, also doing things that are right in their wheelhouse, using their expertise and their skill set to benefit those in their community that need that extra help. So we thank you guys very much.
Okay, so that was Steve Jones at MaxWire in Illinois. And we noticed some of the things that he was talking about there, some of the deployments. It was a longer interview. I just cut it down to about 3 minutes, but he went on to describe some of the cool things that they're doing. And basically, they use the CN Maestro system, and Cambium, CN Maestro manages the Cambium fixed wireless and the CN Pilot Enterprise APs. They created a private VLAN just for the school. So they can take and route that. He mentioned that he mentioned a few times there about content and how the school wanted to have control of the content. And so what happens is whenever any place that the school says, I need to drop a Wi-Fi hotspot, either it could be a parking lot of a school, it could be a parking lot at a local park or a library, MaxWire can drop an access point there, an enterprise AP, put a Force 300 module on the same tower, point it back to their EPMP 3000, and they can remotely extend that school's Wi-Fi network to any location within their service area. And all the traffic is routed back, it's all routed back through the core to the school. So MaxWire never sees the data. The school has full control, full access to all the data. The students log in using their Google Classroom credentials, and they can download homework assignments, they can turn in assignments, they can access streaming media from anywhere in that service area. And it's entirely as if the school was extended to any of those remote locations. So there are basically 3 remote locations that MaxWire is deploying. One remote location is right at the school itself. So drive up Wi-Fi right at the school, in the parking lot of the school. Second locations are nearby parking lots that the school gets some rights and some permissions to set up a temporary or a longer term hotspot. Those could be parking lots in a library, and they'll drop off these school hotspots in these other parking lot locations. And the third place is beaming the signal right to the homes. And actually MaxWire created a self-install kit, an install kit, where their guys on premises do not have to go inside the building, inside the home at all. They can do everything from outside. Now, when I was talking to Steve about this solution and asking about CN heat and what the value of it was, he mentioned some great statistics, which I didn't really capture well in the video. But he said that they don't want their installers to be exposed too long to doing installations. They don't want them exposed to the virus. It's a really important thing to do, to limit exposure. Because of the ability of CN heat to accurately predict within 1 meter the best location for the antenna, they're able to cut down that site installation time from about 2 hours to 15 minutes. From 2 hours to 15 minutes. And that was a great reduction in the exposure for their field technicians. So this is the right way to do it, right? It's the right way to design these networks so it's flexible, it's a powerful solution, all built on Cambium's technology. So some of the components in this particular network, this is the stuff this guy used. Used CN Maestro, that's your cloud management dashboard for all the network. He used CN Heat, that's the Cambium Networks RF propagation tool. Uses LiDAR data, has the knobs and the whistles, knobs and bells and whistles, I guess you'd say. But he's got the knobs you can turn to adjust the elevation, so you can pick exactly the right location to install the AP. Reduces your site time, it reduces the guesswork, and reduces the amount of equipment you have to put on a truck to when you do a rollout for a new location. He used EPMP. That's one of our technologies for fixed wireless broadband. ePMP is time synchronized, multi-user MIMO, bi-directional upstream and downstream beam steering, one-of-a-kind technology, very high performance. CN Pilot, that's the products that I manage. That's enterprise Wi-Fi, optimized for indoor and outdoor. He used the outdoor CN Pilots. And then residential service provider, he used the R195 residential AP, put it inside the homes, and so he could deploy this great broadband connection right into the home. So what else can you do? Where else can you stand up a hotspot? Well, sometimes you can't put up a pole and leave it up there for a year. It has to be very temporary, and this is actually something that's happening in school districts where they're needed to set up remote health check stations just to check the health of students. They need to set up temporary homework check-in stations and Wi-Fi hotspots. This is the way to do it. Grab one of those trucks in the back of the school, put up an AP and a subscriber module, and drive it around. It's a Wi-Fi bus. So drive-in Wi-Fi, you need to find some publicly accessible space. So find a spot where people can park and maintain the proper social distancing. The nice thing about this is you can rapidly turn it up. If you put that publicly accessible space, that drive-in Wi-Fi, in a school parking lot, you can use the existing wiring and broadband that's probably at that school already and turn that up very, very quickly, just in a matter of hours. All the content should be school governed, right? The school needs to maintain control, keep the education flowing in the right direction. Let students grab their homework off servers, watch video sessions. There are some challenges. You have to. It's hard to sit in a car for a long, extended period of time. So it's really best for kind of short-term access. That's really the best application for it. This is how it would look. You put the APs. This is using the Cambium 501S, and the 501 has 120-degree arc, where the primary direction of the antenna gains, the sector antenna, is in 120-degree arc. Has a 3 dB roll-off on the left and the right sides of the lobe out to 180 degrees full coverage. So we're going to cover about 75% of this space at neg 68 dBm or better. So you can take a school parking lot like that, and you can cover good 75% of it easily with a high signal level with just a single AP. Most deployments that we are seeing like this are actually using 2 APs, and sometimes they're using the 502, which is the 30-degree sector version of this AP. So these are ideal access points for this type of application. Cambium has a bunch of APs. 501, 502, those are sector APs. The 505 is brand new. It's very tiny, small. It's about half the size of the other ones. 510 and then the 700. So you have options here. Pick the right one for the application that you need. Keep the cost down low and manage everything from CN Maestro. That's the Cambium advantage. Tyler Junior College in Texas did the same thing. This is another use case. I didn't do a video for these guys. I should have done a video interview. These guys did the same thing. They installed drive-in Wi-Fi coverage. From the time they first talked to this junior college to the time they started deployment was 3 days. 3 days, and starting to turn this thing up. So it can be done quickly and should be done quickly. That's a really key thing. Cambium is supporting you, we have a special promotions that you can take a look at. It's been released on a PMB, so PMB 1392. If you are not a Cambium partner, you have no access to that PMB 1392. So what do? If you're not a Cambium partner? Well, you call somebody, call Streakwave. Get yourself signed up, call Streakwave, they'll help you get signed up with Cambium as a partner. You can access these promotions, deploying 2 CN Pilot E700s, get 1 free. So 3 is a very typical number. So you're going to get 3 for the price of 2. So it's a 3 for 2 deal. But it goes on. Look at buy 2 ePMP Force 319 Rs and receive 1 free. Let me tell you about that one for a minute. And Steve Jones at MaxWire actually used 2 of these Force 319s point to point, back to back. He made a point to point high-speed connection because one of the parking lots that he had to cover was not right next to the school. It was part of the school, but it was across the street. So what was he going to do? Was he going to, try to trench out there across the street and pull fiber and power? No, that would take months to do that. He just grabbed two of these Force 300s, set up as a point-to-point backhaul, all managed by CN Maestro, and then dropped an access point over there at that remote parking lot across the street. So super fast, 1 day installation. He's got that hotspot set up. You can get two of those, buy two, get one free in this deal as well. And some other deals here, including special deals on CN Heat. That's that RF propagation tool. I encourage you to go to the partner portal and download this white paper called 7 Questions about Drive-In Wi-Fi for Schools. And it's got some nice data there, some information that you can use when you're talking to school districts and people in your area to set up community Wi-Fi. The Cambium promotion extends, even beyond just those ones we talked about. I want to highlight also the Xeris XH2 for higher density applications where you're going to have higher density outdoor and community Wi-Fi. You can look at the Xeris XH2. That is an outdoor software-defined radio AP, 11AC Wave 2, 4x4, multi-radio with software-defined radios. And again, buy two, get one free. So it's a really good deal right now that Cambium is doing to help support your communities. Once you take the broadband to the home, you need to put it inside the home. You can't just leave it outside on the roof line. That's not going to work. So the typical deployment would be this R201, which has a power out to power up the Cambium fixed wireless subscriber module, and then connect internally to TVs, to telephones, and just Wi-Fi. So the 201 is a utility access point. It's got everything you need. It's got 2 voice ports, power out, 30 volts power out on one of the gigabit ports. It's dual radio, dual band, 11AC. Couple of tips here. I'll just highlight a couple of things. Design for capacity. That means stick with the 5 gigahertz band. Use the 2.4 gigahertz to cover the edges and the corners that the 5 gig might not reach, but don't design to the 2.4 gig. Design to the 5 gig coverage. Let 2.4 be your extra edge coverage. Upgrade to 11AC. Stop deploying 11N. I'm sure you aren't doing it anymore anyway. If you have customers that have 11N technology, 2.4 gigahertz only technology, get that upgraded. And there's really 2 super important reasons why you need to do that. The first reason is most of the devices people have, smartphones, tablets, Chromebooks that they get from the school, they have 11AC radios, okay? And you cannot have, the access point should not be an older technology than the client device. The access point needs to be the same or newer technology than the client for maximum compatibility. You will have connectivity issues if you maintain older technology, 2.4 gigahertz, 11B, G, A, maybe even N, and you have newer devices that are trying to connect. You will have connectivity issues, and the price delta is pennies, guys, pennies. The price delta between 11N, 2.4 gigahertz, and these dual radio AC, it's the price of a McDonald's Happy Meal. It's nothing. It's really inconsequential price difference, but the quality that you get is huge. The second reason that you want to do this, you make sure you upgrade 11AC, is because more devices. Families are working from home, kids are going to school from home, and you more devices trying to do more things. I'm doing video conferencing for my work. At the same time, my son is doing video conferencing with his school in our same network. So when you start to have more devices requesting more Wi-Fi network services, you will get more interference and you will have caused more problems. So get that upgraded to 11AC 5 gigahertz. I'm highly recommending these 2 APs, the R195W and the R201P. In the summer, we have an R195P coming out, it's a utility access point, very similar to the R201P. You're going to like it a lot. It's going to have higher performance, greater resilience to power surges. So it'll be an overall improvement in the portfolio. this is the technology you want to stick with in this new COVID-19 world we're living in. The R195W was released in Q4 last year. Compared to the R201, just take a look at the colors in the lower right-hand corner diagram. Look at those color schemes. You want to stay in the green area. You want to stay away from the yellow tones. Yellow tones is when the signal drops to fair connectivity. And when it drops to fair, that means that the client speed drops significantly and the chances of interference goes way, way up. So you need to keep the client connectivity in that good to excellent range and away from the fair range. You do not want to be in the fair zone. You want to be in the good to excellent. The R195W gets you there. So it's a great product, really showing its legs really well here. And again, as always, designed for capacity, not for coverage. So today we talked about Cambium's EP&P product line, tolerates interference, affordable price, fixed wireless. We talked about enterprise grade Wi-Fi and the residential Wi-Fi in the CN Pilot product line. And we talked a little bit about some of the software. We talked about CN Maestro, right? That's your eye in the sky, cloud management. We've also talked about CN Heat, the RF propagation tools. But there's a lot more that Cambium is doing, a ton more. So just to highlight real quickly, PTP backhaul, rock solid, 250 kilometers, rock solid point-to-point links. PMP 450 wins awards all the time for the highest bits per hertz in the industry. So its spectral efficiency is off the charts. It is actually defines a higher bits per hertz than the 5G standard does. That's in the PMP 450. CN Ranger is our LTE standards-based broadband with an embedded EPC. You put that enhanced packet core, the EPC, which normally would be a separate server you'd have to install in your data center and maintain it. We embed it right in the LTE array. I forgot the broadband unit. Sorry, the BBU. We embed the EPC right in the broadband unit, the BBU. And what you get with that is you get a low-cost way to deploy standards-based LTE broadband. That's CN Ranger. IoT, people talk about the sensors and the actuators. They don't often talk about how you connect those sensors and actuators. Cambium delivers that wireless connectivity. And of course, Ethernet switching with policy-based access, key technology, all again managed by our eye in the sky with CN Maestro. On the software tools, you have installation tools, you have design tools, you have wireless design tools for indoor, wireless design tools for outdoor, all offered to make your job easier and faster, get a better quality network design done more quickly so you can get on with your work. So what's coming up next? What's next from Cambium? We standing pat? Oh no, not at all. So we've got some new stuff coming. Gigabit wireless, okay? Gigabit wireless broadband, indoor and outdoor. That's what's coming next from Cambium. All paired up with gigabit, multi-gigabit Ethernet switching technology. So end-to-end multi-gigabit broadband indoor and outdoor. That's what's coming up next from Cambium. So please stay in touch with Streakwave, stay in touch with your folks there so you guys can be alerted to when these new technologies are launching and the availability of them. Get some more details and information about gigabit wire, multi-gigabit wireless and wire technology from Cambium Networks. All right, that's the end of my my presentation, and we're right about exactly on the 30-minute mark, and so I appreciate you guys' time, and I'd like to give a few minutes here to answer some questions that you may have about the presentation. Anything you want to ask about. I may not have the answer, but go ahead and shoot the questions out there. Type them into the chat box, and Angela, I'll turn this back over to you.
Awesome, thank you. So as questions are coming through, we have one. They're asking, can you share more details on the gigabit wireless?
Yeah, multi-gigabit wireless. I put the wrong word there, didn't I? You caught me on that. I should have said multi-gigabit. Yeah. So we do have some new stuff coming out, and it will be in the next less than 60 days. And very, very shortly. So please pay attention. I can't get ahead of the launch information. The public launch information is going to start happening in June, and it will extend into July. what you're going to see from this new technology is it's really designed, if you look at the way Cambium's market is today, we sell products to broadband service base, these service providers that are experienced with fixed wireless, not quite so experienced with enterprise Wi-Fi. And we sell products to enterprise Wi-Fi service providers that are not quite as experienced with the outdoor fixed wireless broadband. You know, a lot of these enterprise Wi-Fi guys aren't going to want to get up a pole, you know, climb a 100-foot pole and strap on an antenna up on top of a pole somewhere. So the interesting thing about the new stuff coming out in the next couple of months is that we're really starting to bridge those different technologies in those markets. So if you are an enterprise service provider and you have a campus environment, it could be a school campus, a junior college, could be a light industrial park, and you need to put wireless, multi-gigabit wireless backhaul between those buildings, we can do that. You can do that using technology that's as easy to install as the enterprise Wi-Fi. You can do that all from Cambium. Likewise, if you're a fixed wireless service provider, you know, and you're used to dealing with rural, long distance rural shots and servicing rural customers, you'll be able to use the new technology from Cambium, this new multi-gigabit wireless technology, to get into adjacent markets, get into more suburban markets where the density of the users is higher, interference profiles in the RF space might be higher. Cambium is going to give you the tools to get into that market and leverage your experience. So the best thing I can say is stay tuned. In the next 1 to 2 months, you're going to see lots of information coming out in June.
Wonderful. The next question I have is CN Maestro Free Cloud a limited time for this promotion? And if so, what will the cost be when the promotion ends?
CN Maestro. In this promotion, CN Maestro always is offered at no extra cost and no recurring fee. In fact, you can, if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to do it like now. You know, open up your web browser, go to cloud.cambiumnetworks.com. Okay, that is CN Maestro, cloud.cambiumnetworks.com. Sign up for a free account. You will never get a bill from Cambium. And that's today. That's no promotion. That's nothing. That's just right now today. You can sign up for a cloud account with CN Maestro right now, and you'll never see a bill from Cambium. All you have to do is buy the access point. And that is true today. That is true during the promotion. And that will continue to be true when the promotion ends. Your CN Maestro cloud account will remain as it is today. You'll be able to manage up to 10,000 devices, 10,000 devices managed for each free account with CN Maestro in the cloud.
Thank you, Daran. Looks like that's all the time we have and the questions. So thank you again for taking the time and presenting this to everybody, and thank you for all the attendees. Like I said earlier, that this webinar has been recorded, and we will share this with everyone on our YouTube channel and our website, and as well as a mailer. Again, thank you. Thanks, Daran.
Well, thank you all very much. Bye-bye.